This is Crenshaw, Briggs, and VT. We want the touchdown. We not trying to go for 3. And it's best if you get up on the street, because them bulls out the pen and they bite stampede.
Overall perspective on Nick, like give me a grade out of 100 you think he's done so far. I know you just explained what he did, what he had to overcome. Cause it's a lot of people that really think he's done a great job, and I'm not one of those people, so I want to hear from your perspective on Nick Caserio.
I think what he did to fix the salary cap was one of the best jobs that anybody's ever done with the salary cap. The Texans salary cap was an abject disaster. And there's no quick fix to when you got a guy handing out, big contracts like candy to all these guys who basically can't play. You had to figure that out. You didn't have any draft picks, right? So you had to navigate not having picks, not having any players, not having any cap. I think he's done a good job on that. I think what he did with Deshaun Watson was about as good a deal as they could have done. You went through, he showed a lot of patience. He did not let the situation overwhelm him. He did not let Watson nor his agent, and I happen to have a lot of respect for his agent because I think David Mulligala is the best in the business. But his job in that particular case was to force the Texans to give his client what he wanted. And he didn't capitulate to that. He waited till it was done on his terms, and he got a ton of draft capital that they desperately needed and didn't have previously for a player that they couldn't keep. He didn't want to be here, and then he became more toxic than they could ever possibly have. And he got 3 1s. That's a hell of a job for a toxic player. You got 3 1s. I think he did a great job on that. I think he's done a nice job by getting veteran players who are quality players on short-term deals. Getting Jerry Hughes last year, that was a good deal. Getting Denzel Perryman was a good deal. Jimmy Ward, that was a good deal. Sheldon Rankins, that's a great deal. He has done some things that are very good. But this one's a whopper in the other direction. I would tell you that I think I would grade him between a B and a B minus. Because I think overwhelmingly he's done more positive than negative, but sometimes the negatives are head scratchers that there's just no way to explain what the hell was going on there. And I think that's kind of this Kenyon Green issue here is there's no way any of this made a lick of sense. So why did a guy generally regarded as the smartest guy in the room all the time put his head straight up his butt on this one? So I think that somewhere between a B and a B minus is probably fair. Overall, good job. Occasionally, WTF.
Okay. I think you're being overly generous, honestly, in my opinion. I mean, I agree with you on the Deshaun Watson stuff. I think that the reports were saying that Jack Easterby and Cal wanted him to give up Watson for pennies on the dollar. This was before the grand jury decided not to indict, and they wanted to just get rid of Watson, get rid of the bad PR, and just get rid of him for about a first-round pick. And apparently that was supposed to go to the Dolphins if they would have taken him for just that, and it wasn't 3 first-round picks. Nick Caserio held his own and said, I want to get what I want to get, and they let him do it. You got 3 first-round picks and more. Props to him. I think that was the best thing he's done since he has been GM here. However, I have to disagree with you on the cap space stuff because of the $75 million that was in dead cap, $25 million was of his own doing. You had dudes like Anthony Miller that was brought on, that we traded for, that he let go a week after he scored his first touchdown here. So I mean, he has made some questionable decisions of adding dudes and getting rid of them right away, which sometimes actually doesn't sound bad, right? You're not holding on to your mistakes, but 25 of that 75 million dead cap was his fault. And the thing is, when it comes to situations like this, what do you have to do to fix dead cap situations? Don't fuck it up worse. Get rid of your highest, your biggest contracts. You cut them and wait the year or 2 years till they all bleed out and it goes to zero. It doesn't take the smartest guy in the room to decide, let me not make big bad decisions again, and let's clear it up so we can have $100 million in cap space. So I can't give him too much credit, because in all honesty, a dude from Harvard, an intern, you don't need to be a genius, not even Harvard. Freaking let's go to another school, any school. This is not hard to do when you're trying to fix something. All they're doing is not making any mistakes and get rid of the mistakes that exist. So what did he do? Yeah, I think the Watson deal was fantastic. I think that this draft was damn pretty good. I have some questions on Scruggs. I have some questions on Henry To'oTo'o. But overall, I do like this draft. 2021 draft, the only starter left is Nico Collins. 2022 draft, well, if you think Kenyon Green is a bust, well, there you go on your first round pick. And I'm hoping to God that Stingley hits, but so far Stingley hasn't hit. So as of right now, in this moment, you have 3 studs. You've got Damian Pierce, you've got Christian Harris, and you got Petrie, who I think is fantastic. That's who you got. You got 3 studs in 3 years. So I would give him a 5, an average 5. If I'm giving a grammatical grade, it's going to be a C. He's straight average, in my opinion.
Hey,
all right.
Just to be fair to Caserio, his biggest dead cap issues were Deshaun,
Yep,
Whitney Merciless, Zach Cunningham, Bradley Roby, Randall Cobb, Nick Martin, and Benardrick McKinney. He didn't sign any of those guys.
True. I understand those were the biggest ones. But also look at Randall Cobb issue. We had Green Bay, we had their balls, and we just let them go for peanuts. Rodgers was saying, I won't come back unless you get Randall Cobb, and we didn't hold their feet to the fire? Why not?
Because you have no leverage. If they say no, you're stuck with him not playing for you. I get what you're saying. I mean, I understand why you feel that way. Don't get me wrong. I understand why you feel that way. You have every right to feel that way. But the reality is, Randall Cobb wasn't doing anything for the Texans. So you were going to pay him to be like a 4th, 5th receiver, or you can dump him off to the Packers for whatever you can get. So it made more sense to just take whatever you could get, especially for a team desperate for picks. So I understand what you're saying. Why didn't they push it? Because Texans didn't have a ton of leverage. They needed the picks as much as they needed to get rid of that money, as much as, here's the Packers saying, oh, we got to appease Aaron again. Here, all right, fine. We'll take him. Just, here, don't kill us.
You not really in touch if you not tuning in. This is Crenshaw, Briggs, and VT. We want the touchdown. We not trying to go for 3. And it's best if you get up out the street, cause them bulls out the pen and they about to stampede.